Good evening, y'all. Welcome to this special edition for the Man in the Black Mask. And this is regarding the Derek Chauvin verdict. Okay, and I was ecstatic when I heard that disgraced former cop Derek Chauvin was guilty of killing George Floyd with his knee. Okay, I literally jumped out of my chair and I got down on my knees and I had thrills, man. I just buried my hands deep in my face, you know. I buried my face in my hands because I couldn't believe that our voices have spoken. And especially that 9-year-old girl, whose testimony was bizarre yet believable. She gave a full description as to what happened, both before, during, and after George Floyd was killed. Okay? He didn't die until after they wheeled him onto the ambulance. But she saw the drama unfold and she described herself as quote unquote sad and angry or sad and upset, something to that effect. And I think her testimony played a pivotal role on Derek Chauvin being convicted, of all counts, second and third degree murder, as well as involuntary manslaughter, some shit. I don't know. But either way, man, the book got thrown at him. And the reason you see the light under here is because the light is shown, okay? I wanted to shine a spotlight as to why we as black people need to be treated equally, okay? I put the light underneath there to send a message that we will not tolerate violence committed against minorities, okay? We will not tolerate being treated as slaves, okay? I'm shining a spotlight to make a difference in today's America, especially with this pandemic, okay? And these cops, man, they gotta stop killing off black folks for no reason, okay? And Derek Chauvin was a Klansman. That tells you right there. That's why he killed that black folk, okay? He killed Mr. Floyd for no reason. He wanted to show the world how bad he was. Well, guess what? In the end, he got fucked, okay? He is going to get hanged inside of his prison cell. And trust me, it'll probably be his own people that will probably be out to get him. No matter where Derek Chauvin goes in lockdown, whether it's D Block, medical, whatever, there's somebody in there gonna really want to truly get a hold of this dude and really kill his ass. He killed a black person. And not only is he a disgrace to America and a disgrace to the human race, but he's also a disgrace to the badge. Because look what he did. Look what he fucking did. Okay? He didn't have to put his knee on Floyd's neck. I mean, come on now. Why not just put his knee on his fucking back? You don't put it on his neck. Okay? Put it on his back. Okay? Not his neck. Don't never choke somebody out when you're arresting them. Okay? Never do that. Chauvin should have learned his lesson the hard way. Okay? He knew that he did something very illegal. He knew he was never allowed to press his knee on Floyd's neck. Okay? When a person is resisting arrest, you're supposed to either use pepper spray or a taser. Chauvin failed to do so. He neglected his duties. And in the process, he neglected his freedom. Okay? And the one thing that pissed me off, right, was that this motherfucking lawyer, right, had the nerve, the absolute motherfucking nerve, to say that the carbon monoxide inside, the car and everything killed Floyd. That did not do it. It was Chauvin's knee. That lawyer was making excuses for Chauvin. He was actually glorifying Chauvin and others like him killing black people. And trust me, man, I would have punched that dude in his fucking face had I been there, son. It's like, how dare you glorify men like Chauvin who kill black people for no reason instead of just taking them into custody peacefully without doing further physical harm to them. Okay, he derelicted his own duties, Mr. Chauvin. And I'm glad that girl put him in his place. He needed to hear from somebody. Somebody whose frank testimony would be enough just cause to throw the motherfucking booker. And I'm glad that girl's voice has spoken, okay? That's when I knew he was going to get convicted because of that girl's testimony. I saw the footage on the New York Times website, okay? And I was basically wrung to tears about that bizarre yet descriptive scene that girl gave out to the courts, okay? I'm very happy that girl took a stand because what happened to her people, our people, was bullshit. Do you understand me? Chauvin had no motherfucking right to wear that badge. He should never have been a fucking cop. You understand me? I'm glad Daniel Holzclaw was the beginning when he raped those black women. He thought he could get away with murder. He thought he could prey on people he viewed as half human, less than human. Well, guess what? In the end, it was Holzclaw who was half human. In the end, he was less than human, just like Derek Chauvin was. Okay? And I'm glad that the jury was separated equally, you know? I'm glad that there was diversion in the jury. There's something that this country lacks, you know, diversity. And I'm glad it's just mounting, you know? There was a total of 6 whites, 6 blacks, and, you know, 4 self-described multiracial, you know, Asian, whatever. But I'm just glad everything played out by the book, you know? I'm glad justice was served on a silver platter, something that was long overdue. And I'm glad I'm glad our voices in general have got louder over the years, especially with this pandemic. I'm glad this pandemic has brought Black America together as a whole, especially with this Black Lives Matter movement that you got right now. Okay? I am very pleased of the progress that we're making right now. And I'm very pleased of the fact that each and every one of you support the man in the black mask and his political views. Because a lot of this stuff is personal. Okay, just like that George Floyd murder, that was very personal to me. Because I was treated badly by the police, both as a kid and as an adult. So this is very fucking personal to me. Capiche? Very motherfucking personal. And I just wanted to get the message out loud and clear, okay? This behavior will not be tolerated. And I'm glad Joe Biden reached out to the family. I'm glad Joe Biden is very close to the Floyds, okay? And I bet you it was them that voted Biden in office and Trump out of office because George Floyd happened right in front of Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't do nothing to lend sympathy to the Floyd family. He just fucking had a laugh. He had a good time watching black people get killed before him. And I'm glad that cocksucker is gone. And I'm glad Joe Biden is sending a message. Okay? I'm glad he's helping us fight. I'm glad we're seeing justice being served. I'm glad Chauvin is going to spend the rest of his life in prison because let me tell you something. In about 5 years, he's going to be 50. And by the time those 40 years is up, he'll probably be in his 90s or possibly dead. Now, I'm not going to say that I want somebody to kill Mr. Chauvin in prison, but I am going to say this. I hope he dies a slow, painful death inside that steel cage. Because what he did was horrible. And a lot of people in prison are going to fucking hate him for what he did to that Mr. Floyd. Floyd didn't do shit to him. Okay? There is no way in fucking hell, man, that George Floyd should have been killed over an alleged fake $20 bill that he passed to the clerk. I highly doubt if he did anything wrong. Okay? I wasn't there, but I'm just saying. I highly doubt if he did anything wrong. But whoever contributed to his death, they too should be ashamed of themselves. You should be ashamed of yourself if whoever called the cops and ultimately got Floyd killed. Got Floyd Radio Raheem to death by Derek Chauvin. He had his knee laying on his neck. I'm thinking, that's murder. That's not self-defense. That's not even an accident. And what I also think was that Mr. Chauvin should have been charged with first-degree murder because there was some premeditation there. First-degree murder. I think he should have been charged with murder in the first degree, which would have called for either the death penalty or life without parole. I know a lot of you is wishing the same thing, that he should have got murder in the first instead of murder in the second or murder in the third. But like I said, I'm glad this is over, man. Well, not quite over because we got to get to the sentencing. And that's going to happen sometime this year, okay? Especially with this pandemic. Now, I expect the courtroom to be full by the time sentencing comes. Because not everybody could come to court because of this pandemic and social distancing guidelines put into place. I understand that. But this time, let us pack the courtroom. And let us do a little more protest, too. Because we still need to get our voices louder. We shouldn't just sit back and rest just because of this one incident. No. We still got to keep fighting. And we still got to make our voices more and more louder. Just like we're doing now, okay? We have spoken. I'm glad God came down from heaven and gave us our long-awaited miracle. Okay, we are finally going to walk that miracle mile. Black Lives Matter. Batish, Black Lives Matter. I love America. If you don't love America, then get the hell out. But it is what it is, man. I love America. Okay? I love Black America, baby. I love racial equality. Something that is happening very soon, racial equality, okay? We are getting what is long past due, racial equality. And I also want to see criminal justice reform too. I sure hope that this is a stepping stone in the right direction, okay? Because we need some positivity in today's America, okay? We need more diversity, just like we saw in that courtroom with the way the jurors was divided equally, so that there's no racial bias or nothing. That way everything plays out by the book, and that way nobody gets hurt. The truth gets told, the whole truth, nothing but the truth beyond a reasonable doubt, okay? And like I said, I know a lot of you think that that girl was responsible for Chauvin being convicted in a good way. I'm glad she took a stand, man. I'm glad she stood up for what she believed in, because I guarantee you, man, this is going to traumatize her for the rest of her life. As soon as she grows up, I sure hope that she becomes an activist or whatever, just like Amanda Gorman. Because, like I said, man, Black Lives Matter. I'm glad Black life is starting to mean something. I am very proud of the progress that we're making, and I thank you for all that. And that's why I turned this light on. You know, I'm shining a light here, literally. For years, that light has stayed dark, and now that light is getting lighter. Okay, no more darkness for us. Okay, this world has stayed dark for too long, and now it's time that the light shines in this day and age. Okay, that light needs to be shown. That should have happened years ago. Okay, it's like, what did we ever do to be mistreated by the opposite race? We're just as human as they are, and they should have treated us as such, and they're still not doing it. But I'm sure hoping that Derek Chauvin's conviction sends a strong message to those who are willing to commit hate crimes against people of color or other minorities in general. And I'm really hoping and praying for stronger hate crime laws too. I sure hope that those laws get passed, because there's been a recent surge of hate crimes targeting blacks and Asians. And right now, I don't see nothing being done about it. And it fucking pisses me off to have to see this kind of shit. Okay? I hate it just as much as you do. Okay? I really want the shit to stop. And I want the light to get brighter. Okay? It's about time that we take our lives back once and for all. And I'm very proud that we're making a difference. I am very glad that things are changing in a good way. I really am. I can't even begin to tell you how goddamn happy I am that this is all over, man, or is going to be over. And that we have spoken and have sent a clear message that we will not tolerate hate of any kind, regardless of race, age, color, creed, etc. Racism has no place in American soil, says the man in the black mask. Okay? I hope I'm the first person that said this, but if somebody said this before me and nobody claims it, guess what? I'm going to claim it. Racism has no place in American soil. Period. End of fucking story. Is there any of you that do not understand what I just said? Okay? Hate needs to stop. Okay? Hate, again, has no place in American soil. Okay? And I firmly believe that anybody who preaches violence against an opposite culture deserves to burn in hell. Just like Derek Chauvin. His soul should burn in hell. May his soul burn in hell for killing an innocent man, let alone somebody of color. Someone by the name of George Floyd, who clearly did not deserve what happened to him. Okay? And that Breonna Taylor thing, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even do shit with those motherfucking cops. But yet they did a lot of shit to Derek Chauvin. And like I said, man, I also felt that Breonna Taylor's case should have shed just as much light as this one. I felt that all those cops should have been charged, and yet they're still allowed to walk the fucking streets. Son of a bitch, man. I'm telling you, man. We didn't do nothing to deserve to be treated like this. Okay? And the kids, they deserve better. Because now they're really suffering in this day and age with this remote learning shit and everything else. And especially with racial inequality. Okay? Something that a lot of you label as a cancer. A cancer that has got a lot of innocent people killed, if not locked up. And a lot of that shit definitely happened in front of Donald Trump. You know that. Although racism happened way before Donald Trump, when Trump took office, the shit really got crazy after that. It just got way fucking worse. Okay? And as a result, Floyd and Taylor are both dead because of him. Now, if you can't handle the truth, fuck you. But I'm telling you like it is. Okay? I'm telling you the truth, okay? People like Trump supported racism and mass murder amongst blacks. He supported white people killing black people. And he supported the KKK. Okay, Biden isn't about that. He's about racial equality. That's why he took office along with Kamala. To make a difference. To help us make a difference. You understand that? And I'm glad our world is changing in a good way. And I'm glad that Black America is getting better. Better and better. Every single motherfucking day. Okay? And like I said, I buried my face in my hands when I heard that Chauvin was convicted. Okay? I wanted to drink a toast to that too, but I don't drink. But if I did drink, I would have drunk a toast to one of my friends out here. That Chauvin is going to spend the rest of his life in prison, and his soul is going to burn in hell, and there's probably going to be somebody in there waiting to kill his ass. So I'm not going to be surprised if Chauvin would ever be killed in prison like Jeffrey Dahmer. You understand that? If Jeffrey Dahmer can get killed in prison, so can Derek Chauvin. But I wouldn't wish murder on him, but I do wish that he dies a slow, painful death. I want him to die every waking day of his life inside that steel cell, inside a concrete steel cage, which is where he belongs, where he should have been a long time ago. He should have never been allowed out on bail. They fucked up by releasing him on bail, but guess what? That's all in the past now. That's in the history books because he's in jail right now, looking over his shoulder, so to speak. So, no matter where he goes inside that prison cell, he ain't gonna be safe from nobody, man. Just like Daniel Holsclaw. They got him protected, but I sure hope that they don't protect Derek Chauvin. Why would you protect somebody that thrives off killing innocent people? Let alone people of color. And I also think that Derek Chauvin should have been charged with a hate crime because this was clear hate. I know a lot of you is thinking the same thing. The same for, Daniel Holsclaw. He too should have been charged with a hate crime because he molested, if not raped, all those black women. The youngest was like 16, 17. And yet this fucking crack managed to take advantage of them, thinking that they wasn't going to speak up. Well, guess what? They did. And now his ass is in federal lockup because their voices have spoken. Black Lives Matter. Okay? I'm not trying to preach racism. I'm just saying racism has no place in today's America. Okay? And I'm referring to people who commit hate crimes against others they deem less than human. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I signed up for this channel to make a difference, to help make a difference, to lend a voice. Politics, including black politics, matter in the face of COVID-19. And you know what I'm saying? These racist motherfuckers is getting more and more meaner every day. And you know what I'm saying? It's just tiring. I'm very sick of it. I mean, just like a lot of you are sick of us being treated inappropriately when we didn't even do shit. When we're just trying to live our lives. We got these fucking idiots got the nerve to try to fuck it up for us. Set us up to get killed or locked up. Just recently when I was on the block, I had two cops passing by just fucking staring at me like they was going to do something. They was fucking eyeballing me. So I didn't pay them no mind. They kept it moving. But these motherfuckers was eyeballing me as if I was selling crack or something. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, seriously? Give me a fucking break. Like I said, I couldn't be happier right now. I'm just happy times are changing in a good way. Because really, this needs to motherfucking stop. This needs to fucking stop. I mean, this is just unacceptable. Do you hear me? Unacceptable. Derek Chauvin is a stone cold killer. Face it, no matter how you slice it, at the end of the day, he's a stone cold killer. What he committed was murder. Not manslaughter, but murder. Okay? And I wish he got first degree murder, but that don't matter. He's going away for a long time, so fuck it, man. That's in the history books now. And I sure hope that Derek Chauvin's case makes the history books too, as it gives an important voice to Black Lives Matter, okay? That way it can show the world what a true racist he is. Chauvin was just straight up racist. Word to Spike Lee. Let's do the right thing. Thank you, Spike Lee, for making a difference. Thank you. I really love your movie. And Derek Chauvin, fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. For killing an innocent man. And now you're gonna burn in hell. You hear me? You're gonna burn in hell, and you're gonna wish you got the death penalty once the judge throws a book at you. I mean, come on, man. This is just not right. This is just not right. And how is this lawyer gonna argue, carbon monoxide? That's not even close to the truth. I know that was a white lie. A flat-out white lie. That guy was a fucking liar. That's what devil's advocates do. Make excuses for their own clients. So it's no surprise. But I'm just saying, that lawyer just flat-out lied. I mean, he just made a bizarre claim that it was carbon monoxide that killed him. Anybody would have probably punched him in his fucking face. I know I would have. That's not to say I preach violence, but I'm just saying, how can you make excuses and support a white person that just murdered an innocent black man in cold blood? He didn't have a gun, but he had his knee, and he crushed his neck and caused his death. And his lawyer also tried to argue Floyd's past against that of Chauvin's. Tried to make Chauvin look like a folk hero, which again pissed me off. To me, he's a folk villain. He ain't no fucking folk hero. If he really wanted to be a fucking folk hero, he shouldn't have never killed George Floyd. He would have took his fucking ass into custody and not put his knee around his fucking neck. He opted to kill Floyd instead of put him in jail. That's why his ass is in jail. Okay? Not Floyd, but Chauvin. Chauvin tried to argue self-defense. Well, guess what? It got shoved up his ass. This wasn't self-defense. How the hell can you murder somebody inexcusably and then claim self-defense? I mean, get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. Come the fuck on. Get a life, man. Don't think you can murder somebody first degree and say it was self-defense. It just doesn't work that way. No self-defense, no stand your ground, no nothing. Just premeditated motherfucking murder. Capiche? This was murder, son. I saw the fucking news on TV. Don't tell me that this was self-defense. If you're going to tell me self-defense, well, you can suck my dick, okay? Because this was premeditated murder. Motherfucker. Premeditated murder. Period. End of fucking story. Don't tell me nothing else. Self-defense differs from murder, okay? This defines murder, not self-defense, not accident. Murder with a capital M. M-U-R-D-E-R, okay? Murder. Chauvin is going to jail. Now shut the fuck up about self-defense because this is premeditated murder. You understand? And I'm glad the jury did the right thing, and so will the judge. And I'm also glad the prosecutor did the right thing too. His defense was more genuine. Okay? I'm glad the prosecutor spoke the truth, okay? Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. Okay? Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. And I hated the fact that the lawyer tried to use Floyd's past, such as his health issues, hypertension, diabetes, whatever the fuck it was that Floyd was diagnosed with, and then try to use that as Floyd's cause of death when it was actually, neck compression, from Chauvin's knee, which equated to homicide. I knew Floyd was murdered, just like a lot of you knew it was murder. Trust me, I know the game. You don't kill somebody in a premeditated fashion and then argue self-defense. I mean, come on. I was a product of the criminal justice system, okay? I know how these pieces of shit can operate sometimes. I know. But I'm glad they did the right thing in Chauvin's case, that they convicted him and they're going to hold him accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Because what he did was just plain wrong, okay? He was a cop that chose to be a stone cold killer. Okay? Just like, Kim Potter, you know? I mean, come on, man. She killed Dante Wright in cold blood. Now she's next. Okay, so gear up for Kim Potter's show. That too is coming up, okay? And I hope our voices get even louder. One down, one to go, okay? And Chauvin, he's going down. Down for the fucking count. I don't want to hear nothing. And so will Kim Potter. Fuck her too. Okay? She couldn't distinguish the difference between the taser and the gun. 26 years on the force, and you got a lot of fucking nerve to say that you couldn't tell the difference between the taser and the gun. A taser is yellow, and a gun is black, okay? One's hard plastic, the other is metal. How the fuck can you not tell plastic from steel? If you can't tell a taser from a gun, then motherfucker, you can't tell plastic from metal. Piece of shit. Learn how to spell tomato, motherfucker, before you talk shit. I mean, come on, man. Half these cops put on the badge just so that they can kill black people. And I really don't think they should serve on the force, okay? Even if they have proper training, they wasn't trained properly. They wasn't trained properly enough to avoid these kind of scenarios. They still opted to neglect their duty and ruin the lives of average black people. Like I said, Kim Potter, man, I fucking hate her too as much as I do, Derek Chauvin. I really think that they joined the force just to kill black people. I really do. I hate to sound bizarre, but I'm just being frank with you, okay? I mean, they put on the badge just so they can become murderers. Because half those cops have killed black people, okay? They don't talk about all of them, but they only talk about a few. But I'm glad I don't trust the cops. But I'm going to be even franker with you. I don't give a fuck about the police because of what I went through. But I wouldn't preach violence against them or nothing. But then again, I don't give two flying fucks about the cops. Never did, never will. So, like I said, man, I would rather be a doctor than be a cop. Just like some of you would rather be lawyers and doctors or counselors, whatever, rather than be a cop, a pig. Because I spoke to another female friend years back, and she had similar experiences with the police. And she told me on the phone, right, the last thing I want to be is a motherfucking pig. And you know what? I believe her. Because a lot of us have been mistreated by cops for far too long. Okay? And this kind of takes me back to when I was first arrested as a 19, 20-year-old growing up, you know? And I gotta admit, though, it was like the worst time of my life, okay? I almost got thrown in Rikers for no reason. But I'm glad I got out. Cleve Broder was not fortunate, though. So whenever I hear about Cleve Broder, I just wish that was me. That got fucked around in Rikers like that. That I was able to get out and Cleve Broder wasn't. Well, Derek Chauvin, he's definitely not going to get out of this one. He probably thought in his mind that he was going to get away with this, that he could argue, drugs or carbon monoxide, whatever killed him, Mr. Floyd, when it was Chauvin's knee. He tried to divert the blame away from himself and onto Floyd's past drug use and the so-called carbon monoxide that killed him. I mean, I don't buy that shit one bit. I don't believe that son of a bitch will try to pass the buck and try to justify those wrongs that he committed. Okay? Chauvin committed a crime, and right in front of this little child who's probably going to be traumatized for the rest of her life. Even though she gave a brave testimony, put on a brave face, this is still going to change her and haunt her to this very day, and she's probably going to come down with PTSD. Because had that been me out there, I'd probably have PTSD right now. I probably wouldn't even be able to sleep. You understand? Watching an innocent man get killed by a pig with a badge. Let alone pig pieces of shit like Derek Chauvin. Okay? A stone cold racist killer who clearly did not give a fuck about black America. Unlike the people in the courtroom, they wanted to make sure that we were treated properly and equally. And Maxine Walker, whatever, I really wish she didn't open her mouth, And I'm just praying that they don't pay her no mind. I know a lot of you is going to worry that, Chauvin might succeed in his appeal, okay? And trust me, I worry about that too, but I also hope that his appeals get denied. because the evidence presented before us was concrete, and we've seen the picture multiple times. I mean, I'm not gonna show y'all because it's too graphic, you know. I don't like to show graphic shit on my channel. That's just me. Because a lot of kids watch my channel, so I try to be nice to them. Perhaps you should do the same thing as a YouTuber. Be nice to your audience. Be mindful of the kids that watch your channel. Okay? And each time I see the picture of a stone-faced piece of shit Chauvin having his knee rested on Chauvin's neck, each time they show that footage, I just want to smash the fucking TV set. I really do. Because the way I feel that they're actually trying to glorify a stone cold killer. That's what it looked like when they kept showing him, even through this trial. Now, I also hope that that picture gets replaced by the true image of George Floyd. Okay? Not the knee on the neck, but George Floyd in a good way, you know? In a way that most people would view him as a hero. I believe George Floyd made a difference in a good way and made our voices louder. Same for Eric Gardner. Thank you, Eric Gardner. And that they should have charged that cop that killed Mr. Gardner. And the only thing they did was fire him. They should have just put his ass in jail. Okay, he clearly set out to choke out a black man. Okay, instead of cuffing him behind his back. I mean, these unhinged motherfuckers should have never been allowed to wear that badge. Okay, Derek Chauvin appeared unhinged, and I just want to go crazy whenever I see that unhinged shot of Derek Chauvin leaning on George Floyd's neck until he killed him. You know, Radio Raheem style. I'm glad that girl stood up, man. Without that girl, man, things could have gone really fucking wrong today. The verdict probably would have came out not guilty had that girl not testified. That's the way I feel. I know that's what some of you are feeling too. Okay? And trust me, I agree with you. I can bear with you on that. But please, at the same time, bear with me. Because this is very personal to me. I was a product of racism. Both at school, at home, and on the street. I'm a product of this. So this is very personal to me, goddamn it. So think about it before you judge me. I mean, come on, man. Seriously? I mean, come on. Fred Hampton once said this. You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill a revolution. Something to that effect. I mean, didn't you see Judas and the Black Messiah? I mean, come on. He took a stand, and I'm glad he did in the end. I'm just glad Hampton was portrayed as a hero, and not as a villain, and not as a pussy. He was portrayed as a folk hero. And I also believe that George Floyd should be, seen as a folk hero, and not Derek Chauvin. Okay? Derek Chauvin should be seen as none other than a disgrace to America. Okay? He clearly thought he could get away with murder just because of that badge. He thought the badge would be the only thing that would save his fucking ass and nothing else. Well, no. Guess what? The badge buried his ass. It didn't save his ass, but it buried his ass. Okay? It buried his ass. I mean, seriously, we don't deserve to be shitted on like this. Okay? We did nothing to be disrespected. All we ever wanted was to be treated equally and not have our lives and our freedom stripped from us. Mel Gibson once said this in Braveheart. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. 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 Motherfucking freedom. Okay? I'm glad we won tonight. Black Lives Matter, baby. And I also hope that they have a protest around here because I really want to go to one of those protests. Because I'm a person of color and impacted by racism. So yeah, I would support Black Lives Matter. I do support Black Lives Matter. And until my dying day, I will always be in favor of Black Lives Matter and racial equality. Okay? I'm not with this Jim Crow bullshit. Never was, never will be. I mean, come on, man. We deserve so much better. Okay? We're better than this. We're 2 times better than those fucking jackasses that preach violence and racism. I mean, come on. I'm glad our voices are spoken. I'm glad mine is spoken. I'm glad I have y'all support. I mean, I really want to make a difference here. I really do. That's why I signed up for this network so I can make a difference and be a part of Black America and Black American culture. And I gotta be frank with you about one thing. I probably wouldn't have been a YouTuber if not for this pandemic because being a YouTuber was the last thing on my mind up until this COVID-19 bullshit. And I'll tell you that for sure. But like I said, man, when they hold Derek Chauvin sentencing, I shall return. If I hear anything more, if I hear anything more about Derek Chauvin, again, I will be back. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said in The Terminator, I'll be back. Yes, I'll be back. Surf's up, baby, for Mr. Chauvin. Surf's up. Your day has come. You're going to spend the rest of your natural life in prison, whether you like it or not. You murdered a black man who clearly wasn't doing nothing wrong. You signed the death warrant of a black man who allegedly cashed a fake $20 bill to a storefront. And worst of all, I didn't even see no fucking $20 bill in his hand. They didn't. I don't even think he had nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if George Floyd was framed to the point where he got killed. I wasn't there, but I'm just saying, what if he was framed? What if Mr. Floyd was framed for a fake $20 bill and ultimately got his death warrant signed for no reason? Amadou Diallo was killed over a cell phone. He was killed for nothing. And I gotta admit, though, I'll never forget that, man. And Abner Lima, I remember that case too. When Justin Volpe, took him to the bathroom and sodomized him. Remember, Giuliani was mayor at the time. Shoved a stick up his rectum for no fucking reason. And Justin Volpe's trying to get early parole, but guess what? His appeals have still been denied to this day. And he goes up for parole in like 3 more years, which makes 25 years, because he's been in jail since 1999. So 1999 to 2024 is 25 years. And I sure hope that he don't get out, that his parole gets denied. Because he committed a hate crime. He too should have been charged with a hate crime, Mr. Justin Volpe. You know? Listen, I was a little kid then. And I already knew what racism meant. And like I said, man, I'm glad for the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm glad it's starting to mean something. I'm very proud of the progress that we made. And I'm very glad that this country is starting to mean a lot to us. Especially in this face of this pandemic, this outbreak that we're in. Even though we're facing an outbreak, we're in an outbreak. That being racism in conjunction with COVID-19 for sure, as you no doubt know. But like I said, man, just brace out for the sentencing. Okay? Sentencing day is coming up. And I will be back to talk more about that too. Because this is not over. This is not over. We still got to keep fighting. Racism will never end. But at the same time, we got to keep fighting. We can't just keep our mouth shut just because of this one miracle from God. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep fighting. I know I'm going to keep fighting. And I'm going to make a difference. And I urge a lot of you to do the same thing. Just like those jurors did. They made a difference. They decided that black people deserve equal respect. And that's a good thing. Okay? That is a good thing. That is a very fucking very good thing. Okay? I swear to God, man. I love all of you, man. Thank you for your support. And thank you for listening to the man in the black mask. Because his voice will always mean something, pandemic or not. I'm proud to be a YouTuber. I'm proud to share politics with all of you. Especially with some of the challenges that face us today. As much as they did in the past. Especially with this racial inequality bullshit. And the racial hate crimes that have surged post-pandemic. So, I thank all of the judges and the jurors and the prosecutors for ensuring justice for George Floyd. And I've seen the clip in the house where the Floyd family, jumped for joy when they heard that Mr. Chauvin was convicted. Okay? And I spoke to one of my friends on Facebook, and she said, hope they throw the fucking book at him. And you know what I replied? That they convicted that fucking rat cocksucker. That's my reply. Okay? And she knows I'm right. That man committed cold-blooded murder. They had him on tape. And I'm glad the judge urged the jurors to use your eyes and use your common sense. And that's what happened today. They used their eyes and their common sense, and they made a difference. Here endeth the lesson. Okay? Kevin Costner also said this in The Untouchables, just as Al Capone gets thrown in jail. Never stop fighting till the fight is done. And that's what we're going to do. Never stop fighting till the fight is done. Never stop fighting till the fight is done. Okay? Period. End of story. Thank you for listening to the Man in the Black Mask. I'm going to sign off for the night. And I will be back tomorrow, okay? Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. And drop a question underneath the screen and tell me what you think about this life-changing ordeal. Because we sure have made a difference, no doubt, okay? Those of you that disagree, don't watch my fucking channel, okay? Do not watch me if you're going to disagree with me. But at the end of the day, I'm being frank, whether you like it or not. So like, subscribe, question underneath the screen. Until then, good luck, be well, and have a good day. Well, actually have a good night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.